Can you tell us who you are and when and where you were born?
My name is Ralph Paul, and I was born right here in this house in 1946, April 11th.
And which county were you a junior farmer member of?
The county is called Lennox and Addington. It's two areas put together geographically and has become one. The township names have changed in the last 5 years, and it was originally Ernestown Township, is now called Loyalist.
And how did you first get involved in junior farmers?
After I graduated from the University of Guelph, I came home to farm, and I knew that there was such an organization, but it had been dormant here. And so, along with 2 or 3 other ones, I activated it, became president, and we had about 20 to 25 members. And it was active for maybe 5 to 6 years. One of the main events that we participated in was a softball team that participated in the Peterborough Games every year. There was some square dancing, but not a lot. We had meetings that we'd have a speaker in, or we had social events or recreational events, probably 10 or 12 meetings a year. So we were quite active.
What type of community projects did you get involved in?
I guess we more or less probably only put a float in the Santa Claus parade. We didn't do a lot of fundraising outside the club for any charities. Probably should have, but we didn't. That's about it, I guess. We were a social club enjoying ourselves.
Where did you meet?
Various public schools. If we needed a gym, or South Fred Hall, there was an old church down there that we used on several occasions. Mount Pleasant Hall, Selby, wherever any of our members could find a spot to meet that was suitable for either a speaker or a recreational event.
Can you talk about your trip to the UK?
Well, that was exciting. We met with Mr. Stewart and Mr. Biggs beforehand, and we kind of got ourselves up to speed with each other, learning where each other came from, because we didn't know any of the others before, except I did know Jim from the leadership camp at Lake Cootagene at that time. And Jim he was still really in university as well, so we were about the same age, and he was actually on the staff of Lake Cootagene at the time. And so we kind of knew each other, but other than that, I didn't know any of the other ones. And, but that was an exciting trip, a trip I'll never forget. I enjoyed each of the countries. It was an experience just to live in the homes with these families and do what they did, and you have to be able to accept the way they do things and enjoy it along with them, no matter whether you actually always agree or not. But it was a good trip, and I haven't really kept up with a lot of those families, but Jim certainly has. He still goes back. He still has conversations or emails or whatever with some of his host families. I'm not sure about Gene, and of course we were sad when we lost Murray and Charlie McGregor, but we do still get together, not every year, but quite often. Usually somewhere in the Toronto area, and just go to a hotel and enjoy each other's company.
How do you, let me rephrase that. What were some of the highlights of the trip?
Well, I think there was probably several good things about it. It was the fact that we met young farmers from all across England, of course, but then there were the Australians, and then there were there were some Americans as well we'd run across, and some Swedish, and we could always compare notes and talk about things that were of equal interest to us. There was a lot of social things we did, and of course there was, when we stayed on the farms, there was always lots of different ways and different machinery and different ways of farming, and it was quite interesting to learn how they make their living off the farm. I was of course involved with the milk business here, so but in the intervening years, of course, they've lost their milk quota, that sort of thing over there, but it was interesting to go to the shows. We went to met Prince Philip, for example, shook hands with him at the Royal Highland Show, and of course there was a show in each country we tried to hit at the time we were there, and it was good to see all these people, and for example some of the Canadian exporters were there selling semen or whatever, and you know, you'd run across the odd person that you knew from over here at that time as well, so it was good. It was good.
And can you talk about the Hoosier Recreational Workshop that you attended in 1969?
Well, that was good too. It was good to learn various ways of conducting recreational events. I picked up, there was a girl from Kempville, Buckingham, and John from Mellon, what was his name? McMillan, John McMillan from Western Ontario, and there was another girl now, Betty Sisler, and I drove, and we got down there, and we had a good 5 to 6 days. In fact, I enjoyed it so much, about 3 to 4 years later, Janice and I went down, my wife and I went down, and we had another week's vacation there as well. It was good. It was a good one.
Was it at a university or an
Well, it's part
institution?
of the university, but it was out in the country at a, there was 5 or 6 buildings there. There was a dorm. It was an area where they could bring students out, or people from adults too, if they wanted to, and have them there for the week. Food was there, the staff was there, and it was the part of the University of Indiana, I think, or Purdue. It had something to do with Purdue, I think. So it was good. It was good. Well worth it.
Were you compensated for your driving down there?
Can't remember.
Can't remember. Okay.
Can't remember. I guess.
Now in 1968, you had the opportunity to go to leadership camp.
Yeah, that was, again, I think it, as I said, more or less boiled down to there wasn't too many people wanted to go, and so the opportunity was there. I took it, and it was good too. It was a Lake Couchiching at that time. I don't think it's there now. I think they moved it around, but it was, the milk board used to have their fall seminar meetings up there as well, and the facilities were good, and it was a fun experience as well. I can't remember all the various topics that we learned, but there were speakers that came in, and then there was also time for swimming and social time and learning games and that sort of thing as well at night as well. So it was a good, fun-packed day with meeting fellow junior farmers from all across the province.
What made leadership camp different from any other activity you've done in junior farmers?
Well, they focused in on, you know, trying to run effective meetings, how to get more people involved in junior farmers, how to get yourself ready to take leadership roles in farming organizations after junior farmers, and how to work with people, how to get the most out of people that were there, you know, so that you could all work as a team. It was good in that respect.
What were some of the traditions of leadership camp?
What are you looking for? Oh, some of the fun things. Oh yeah, well of course everybody was in a tribe, I guess. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that part of it. And there was there was a bit of competition, which is always good. It's a good idea to have something to for the campers to focus on and have a little fun competing with other campers. So we were in groups. We were in cottage cabins, and there were some skills that we learned too in canoeing and that sort of thing as well. So that was good. That was good.
What tribe were you on?
No, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. That's too long ago.
What were some of the challenges the different tribes had to do?
I can't think of any right offhand. I don't have any literature here that I kept. I should have.
Did you have to pay for leadership camp?
No. I think the local web sponsored that.
And how did you get up to Lake Couchijin?
We all met in Toronto, and a bus went from Toronto up to the lake, so I probably took the train. And we met right downtown Toronto, and the bus was there, we got on it, and away we went north.
So you got to meet everyone before you got there.
You kind of, yeah, we had a bus ride together, let's put it that way, yeah, as I recall.
And who was the great chief?
Well, Carm was there. I guess Carm kind of stood out as the main leader of junior farmers through that whole period. I expect the provincial leader, junior farmer president was there as well, but I can't remember who that was that particular year. You probably got it somewhere in your notes. That might refresh my memory, I don't know. I can't tell you who some of the speakers were either. I never kept all the agenda and that sort of thing.
So you touched on the field days in Peterborough.
Yeah.
Now, what other clubs were you competing against? What other counties were you competing against?
Well, there seemed to be all those areas in central Ontario, like Northumberland, Prince Edward. I think we were the farthest east, I think. Frontenac went the other way, so it would have been Ontario County and Peterborough, Durham, the region, what now is the region of Durham. What other counties are there? Probably 7 or 8. There's 7 or 8 counties, I think, would have gone to that Peterborough Field Day every year.
And it was a one-day event?
Yeah. And they had other events too, like some track and field and that sort of thing as well. So the ball games took place inside in the fairgrounds there, like inside the track, and then there was some other stuff going on too. There was a regional field day at Trenton at one time too. So that's kind of where I met my wife, and we had gone up to a bunch of us had gone up there, and I heard this person talk, "Where's Ralph?" And I said, "Well, here I am." And she says, "Oh no, not you. I met my brother." For she was from Peterborough County, and she had a brother called Ralph and a brother called Ron. And so about 2 weeks later was the Guelph Field Day, and I met her again up there, and there was a dance at night and whatever, and they left to go home, and then they turned around and came back. And, she said, "Well, stop at my place on your way home." So the next day I drove to Millbrook, and things went from there. Eventually we were married. So Junior Farmers was a really excellent way of beating your life partner. So her brothers are still around Peterborough there, so we don't go up as often as we used to, but we still run across the odd person that we knew in Junior Farmers. One walk of life, different walks of life now. So it was good. It was a good social vehicle.
So you answered that question. What was the relationship like between the government and junior farmers?
Well, I think it was excellent at that time because, there was money available. I think they supported Karen Hamilton, that position, and in any way, shape or form that whether it was buildings or awards or money for various events and that sort of thing, there seemed to be money there, but that eventually all dried up, and then we were on our own, and that was pretty tough going for a lot of clubs as well. So I think this happened on kind of all walks of life. The government kind of stepped back, and even all the charities that used to get money from the government, they were all dried up. It was all dried up as well. So charities had to make their own. They had to scramble, and so junior farmers had to find that money as well for programs.
What was the role of the ag office in the county for the Lennox and Addington junior farmers?
We didn't get a lot of support from the actual ag rep. I think they more or less supported 4-H more, but as far as junior farmers, we were on our own. There was some facilities there. If we needed a small office, maybe we could get, but other than that, not much.
In your opinion, what is the importance of having a program like Junior Farmers?
Well, I think it's an excellent program for not just farm kids, but for rural or even urban kids. There was always a lot of urban kids that would come out to junior farmers as well, because they could see the value of it. They're kind of searching for recreation and fun and having some competition, various competitions and this sort of thing as well. But it's hard to meet young people to meet their life mates other than at a bar, and junior farmers supplied the atmosphere for socializing and finding your life mate, as well as having some fun. So it was really important as far as I was concerned.
What have you done with yourself since you left Junior Farmers?
Well, I got into a number of farm organizations. I've been on the Milk Committee, Holstein Club, still on the Holstein Club. I have a number of other things. I'm quite heavily involved in church activities right now. I'm on a cemetery board, chair of that, and always believed in doing things for the community, and of course trying to farm full time as well. So we're milking about 65 cows now with my son. He's 36 and has a couple of kids, small kids. So that seems to take up a lot of time right there.
If you could say something to junior farmer members today, what would you tell them?
I guess I would say it's well worthwhile to, and the more you put in, the more you get out. And you can learn a lot of stuff. You can develop your leadership skills. You can meet a lot of interesting people, and you can contribute to society if you decide to, pick a charity and support that charity. There's lots of things to do to focus on, and at the same time have an interrelationship with other young people.
Is there any stories that you'd like to add that happened to you that you think would be worth sharing?
Not really. I guess I enjoyed it when I was in it. I enjoyed it when I was on those special trips. Got to meet with a few service clubs on the way back to tell the story, and encourage other young people to get involved in junior farmers or 4-H, or a lot of the urban people didn't understand what some of these programs. There was a way of telling them what goes on and what is available. And other than that, I can't think of anything egregious.
Do Do you remember how much membership cost?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It wasn't really important. We just, it probably wasn't that much by today's standards. But
What were some of the changes that you saw happening to junior farmers during your time as a member?
well, I think they started to, they used to focus everything in Toronto, at the King Edward upstairs. And, you know, like everything else, there's changes, and I think there begin to be more maybe regionalized activities, so that people didn't have to travel so far, or maybe it was of more interest to that area. And then as the funding changed, well then some clubs didn't survive, or there wasn't enough young people with the desire to keep a club going. So it's like everything else, our society right now, there seems to be dwindling interest in a lot of things. Noticed that in some charitable organizations. I noticed that in churches are closing. People are spending more time maybe at the hockey arena. I think Sunday shopping changed the nature of our society to a great extent, so that there isn't that one day of rest. Makes a difference, I feel, in the way society thinks. And of course, there's more communication on iPhones and iPads, and I mean, everybody's got information right at their fingertips now, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it isn't. So, you know, things are changing, whether we want it to or not. Not always for the better, but sometimes yes, sometimes no.
So many questions that I forgot to ask.
I don't think so. I couldn't answer them all because I can't remember back that, we're talking 45 years now, maybe 45 to 50 years. So I wish I had more hard literature or something to give you, but I didn't retain all that at the time. I do have some boxes of stuff, but not of junior farmer material.
Well, thank you, Ralph.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you spending time to put stuff together that's lost.